much, Valentina, who, though she's not playing with us this afternoon, she's keeping us valiantly online. So thank you, Valen. Hello, everybody, and welcome back for more scenes at 5 o'clock. If you were with us earlier, welcome back. If you weren't, where have you been? But here we are again. We have 4 more players to do 4 more scenes for you. So I'm just going to run around and say hello to the players, and I'm sending them off to have a little relax. So we have Iain back with us for the first time since Henry VI Part 1. So first time for a couple of months we've seen you, so it's lovely to see you. Dewi's back. Always lovely to play with him. He doesn't get much choice. He lives with me. And we have Thom, who hasn't played for a long time. So it's lovely to have Thom back. Terrific to see you in there. And of course, Fergus again, who's been playing hooky. See, people go off and have their lives, and that means that I don't get to play with them so much. But it's lovely when you guys come back. Right, so off you go to the virtual tiring house. I should make the point that our cast this afternoon are scattered between the Midlands, Cambridge, and various parts of London. And through the magic of Zoom, we are all together in this imaginary virtual playhouse doing our scenes for you. So what happens next? Well, you've seen this before, you know perfectly well. And if you haven't watched us before, hello and welcome, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Lizzie. I am Artistic Director for ShakeScene Shakespeare. We are currently the only theatre company in the UK who are dedicated to performing and teaching the playing of Shakespeare using cues only. So we work from what are called cued parts, or previously known as cue scripts. What does that mean? It means that the guys you've just seen are going to perform 4 scenes for you. Of those 4 scenes, they have only seen their lines and their cues. They have not seen the rest of the scene. They have not read the rest of the play. They may or may not already know it, but it doesn't really matter because they've never played with this cast before using this exact text. So they don't know what to expect. Why do we do that? Because it's historical. That's the only reason. Because when these plays were written, this is how actors prepared and how theatre companies functioned. So we've been, for the last few years, been exploring this technique, and we find it most enjoyable. And we think it brings stuff into the acting, makes things possible for us and possible for you, the audience, which other techniques, it's just different. And we think it's fun. So here we are, and we're doing it. And we hope you enjoy it too. So you will see on our YouTube link, there is our regular donations link. We are, as ever, still working for free for the full joy of doing our Shakespeare and entertaining you out there and keeping ourselves busy and happy and healthy, as we've been doing since the start of lockdowns. So this has been great. We accept your donations. We do not expect them, but they are extremely welcome. They are shared and divided between the members of the company who are still in financial need, and a proportion goes to charities, because we like to do our bit as much as we can. I am going to trail here for the second time today that the donation system is going to change, that at some point in the weeks to come, we're still in the process of setting it up, we will actually be going up behind a paywall so that these performances will become ticketed only, which in some respects makes me extremely sad, because it's been a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to just do Shakespeare and say, here, please have it and enjoy it as much as or more than we do. But now that theatres are open, the world is changing slightly, and we as a company are adapting to that. And we are going, so there will be a ticketing system in place. We are also going to be on Patreon. So if you want to dodge the paywall and get more involved with us and get more behind the scenes access and all sorts of things, then hang around. There will be information coming out as soon as we have it, because we will be going on Patreon, and we look forward to being patronized by all of you. So this is new, wonderful things that are to come. Okay, so for this afternoon, we've got our 4 sterling actors raring to go, and we're going to do 4 scenes, and we're going from 3 different plays. So we're having a little random tour from Much Ado About Nothing into Henry VI Part 1, then into Two Gentlemen of Verona, and then back to Much Ado. So we're ending where we began, and we're ending where we began at 3 o'clock, because we started out with 2 scenes from Much Ado then. So the theme for this section of scenes is plots. People do a lot of plotting and planning in Shakespeare, and some plots work better than others, but everybody still has a good time plotting. So we're going to start with a little scene which has some absolutely storming lines in it from Much Ado About Nothing, and we're going to meet Don John and his sidekicks Conrad and Baraccio. So what's been going on in Much Ado? So we are in the house of the Lord Leonato, who is a wealthy man of Messina, a district of Italy. And in his household is staying for a prolonged visit Don Pedro, the great man of the area, and his company of soldiers, within which is Don Pedro's illegitimate brother, Don John. And these two brothers have been at odds, and they have now recently been brought sort of back together. They've made it up. They've made friends. Or have they? Let's see how that works out, shall we? So, Baraccio, Conrad, and Don John, are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. So the scene begins. The first to enter are Conrad and Don John. Baraccio, listen for your cue and enter when required. Okay. As ever, as the book holder, if anybody's internet goes down or script fails in any respect, you will hear me chirp up. Otherwise, have fun, chaps. As soon as I'm gone, the stage is yours.
What the good year, my lords? Why are you thus out of measure sad?
There is no measure in the occasion that breeds, therefore the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
And when I have heard it, what blessing bringeth it?
Well, if not a present remedy, yet a patient sufferance?
I wonder that thou, being, as thou sayest, thou art born under Saturn, goest about to apply a moral medicine to mortify mischief. I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause, and smile at no man's jest, eat when I have stomach, and wait for no man's leisure, sleep when I am drowsy, and tend on no man's business, laugh when I am merry, and claw no man in his humour.
Yea, but you must not make the full show of this till you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath ta'en you newly into his grace, where it is impossible you should take root but by the fair weather that you make yourself. It is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace. And it better fits my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion a carriage to rob love from any. In this, though, I cannot be said to be a flattering, honest man. It must not be denied, but I am a plain-dealing villain. I am thrusted with a muscle and enfranchised with a clog. Therefore, I have decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had my mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me.
Can you make no use of your discontent?
I will make all use of it, for I use it only. Who comes here? What news, Baraccio?
I came yonder from a great supper. The prince, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonato, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Will it serve for any model to build mischief on? What is he for a fool that betroths himself to unquietness?
Marry, it is your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio?
Even he.
A proper squire. And who? Which way looks he?
Marry on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonato.
Very forward match. Chic. How came you to this?
Being entertained for a perfumer, and as I was smoking a musty room, comes me the prince and Claudio, hand in hand in sad conference. I whipped behind the arras, and there heard it agreed upon. that the prince should woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
Come, let us thither. This may prove food to my displeasure. That young startup hath all the glory of my overthrow. If I can cross him any way, I bless myself every way. You are both sure and will assist me.
Oh, to the death, my lord.
Let us to the great supper. There cheer is the greater that I am subdued. Would the cook were my mind. Shall we go prove what's to be done?
We'll wait upon your lordship.
Oh, very sinister. Oh, lovely. Oh, God. You know, every now and again, sitting here in Prompter's Corner, as I do during these performances, I see a team that are brought together just for a scene. And there's a bit of me that goes, we have to do that for real. I now really want to see those three guys do those parts right through the play. And it's one of the fun things about this job, to be honest, because I have a lot of fun doing this. And I just love the ability to sort of give great people fun things to say and opportunities to play these parts. So well done, lads. You've inspired me. It's always fun to do. So next scene, change of play. We're going into the Henry VI plays, which if you've been following us, then you will know that we have been working our way through the histories since February. We started with Richard II. We moved into the Henry IV plays. We took a little detour into Merry Wives of Windsor to follow Falstaff. Then we hopped back into Henry V. We took a little break with Much Ado About Nothing, which is where these scenes come from. And now we are working our way through the Henry VI plays. We've done part 1 and part 2. Part 3 is coming up in 2 weeks' time. I'll be trailing that later. We're not stopping there, actually, because we're going on straight on into Richard III, and we're even capping it off with Henry VIII, because while you're at it, why not? So the Henry plays are something that, for all of us, were more or less unfamiliar ground. And part 1 was particularly fascinating for me because you have the character of Joan of Arc, or Jeanne Lapucelle, as she is referred to, or Joan Purcell, as it's frequently spelled in the first folio. So the Maid of Orleans, who so inspired the Dauphin and his army in the wars against the English and helped sort of France win back some of its independence. And so it was always absolutely fascinating to me that here is a Shakespeare play with Joan of Arc in it. And okay, in the research that I had to do for these plays, I found out, well, I know that actually Shakespeare didn't write part 1. He did revise it very thoroughly, and he did write in 3 specific scenes which were added. And if you're not sure which ones they are, go have a read or watch our version of it on our gallery. See which ones you think he wrote. But at the same time, she is a real barnstorming sort of strong female character, or strong character from history. And there she is in a Shakespeare play. That's great fun. So, so our 4 lads all appear to be ready. Right. So the scene that we're doing from this is one of the scenes. So this is about midway through the play. And actually things are going very back and forth. The French have had some success under Joan's leadership, but they've also suffered a massive setback. And they have one way. They need to get the Duke of Burgundy, who currently, although a Frenchman, is in support of the English. They have an idea that maybe if they can turn him back to the French, maybe they would then be in with a stronger chance. So we'll see how this works out. Now, if you watched at 3 o'clock, you've seen me pop up as one of the characters in one of the scenes. I will also be chirping up in this one because we have small but perfectly formed groups today, and every now and again we just need an extra voice, and that's what the book holder does, fills in. So can I just check that we have our Charles, our Bastard of Orleans, and our Joan Pucelle? Are we ready?
Oh, yes.
Aye.
Okay. So I will vanish. You will hear me as Alençon when required, and we will see Dewi as Burgundy when he's cued. All right, guys, let's get over to France and see if we can make a little trouble happen.
Dismay not, princes, at this accident, nor grieve that Rome is so recovered. Care is no cure, but rather corrosive for things that are not to be remedied. Let frantic Talbot triumph for a while, and like a peacock sweep along his tail. We'll pull his plumes and take away his train, if Dolphin and the rest will be but ruled.
We have been guided by thee hitherto, and if thy cunning had no diffidence, one sudden foil shall never breed distrust.
Search out thy wit for secret policies, and we will make thee famous through the world.
We'll set thee a statue in some holy place, and have thee reverenced like a blessed saint. Employ thee then, sweet virgin, for our good.
And thus it must be, this doth Joan devise. By fair persuasions mixed with sugared words, we will entice the Duke of Burgundy to leave the Talbot and to follow us.
And marry, sweeting, if we could do that, France were no place for Henry's warriors, nor should that nation boasted so with us, but be extirpated from our provinces.
Forever should they be expulsed from France, and not have title of an earldom here.
Your honours shall perceive how I will work to bring this matter to the wished end.
Drum is heard off with marching of an army.
Hark! By the sound of a drum, you may perceive their powers are marching Paris unto Parisward. There goes the Talbot with his colours spread, and all the troops of English after him. Now, in the rearward comes the Duke and his. Fortune in favour makes him lag behind. Summon a parley. We will talk with him.
Trumpets sound a parley.
A parley with the Duke of Burgundy.
Sound of marching ceases.
Who craves a parley with the Burgundy?
At the princely Charles of France, thy countryman?
What sayest thou, Charles? For I am marching hence.
Speak, Purcell, and enchant him with thy words.
Brave Burgundy, undoubted hope of France, stay. Let thy humble handmaid speak to thee.
Speak on, but be not over tedious.
Look on thy country. Look on fertile France, and see the cities and towns defact by wasting ruin of the cruel foe, as looks the mother on her lowly babe when death doth close his tender dying eyes. See the pining malady of France. Behold the wounds, the most unnatural wounds, which thou thyself have given her woeful breast. Oh, turn thy edged sword another way. Strike those that hurt, and hurt not those that help. One drop of blood drawn from thy country's bosom should grieve thee more than streams of foreign gore. Return thee, therefore, with a flood of tears, and wash away the country's stained spots.
Either she hath bewitched me with her words, or nature makes me suddenly relent.
Besides, all French and France exclaim on thee, doubting thy birth and lawful progeny. Who join'st thou with, but with a lordly nation that will not trust thee, but for profit's sake? When Talbot hath set footing once in France, and fashioned thee that instrument of ill, who then but English Henry will be lord, and thou be thrust out like a fugitive? Call we to mind, and mark but this for proof. Was not the Duke of Orleans thy foe? And was he not in England prisoner? But when they heard he was thine enemy, they set him free without his ransom paid, in spite of Burgundy and all his friends. See then, thou fight'st against thy countrymen, and join'st with them will be thy slaughtermen. Come, return, thou wandering lord. Charles and the rest will take thee in their arms.
I am vanquished. These haughty words of hers have battered me like roaring cannon shot and made me almost yield upon my knees. Forgive me, countrymen, and sweet countrymen and lords, accept this hearty, kind embrace. My forces and my power of men are yours. So farewell, Talbot. I'll no longer trust thee.
Welcome, brave Duke. Thy friendship makes us fresh.
And doth beget new courage in our breasts.
Lucelle hath bravely played her part in this and doth deserve a coronet of gold.
Now, let us on, my lords, and join our powers already are in readiness.
I have a feeling these guys are enjoying being evil a little bit too much. Or actually, no, I take that back. No such thing. You can never enjoy this too much. Excellent. Well done, guys. That was so much fun. Wow. It is interesting that every time you hear, like, okay, I've heard those lines before, but never by those guys. And the energy behind them is always different. You put it, put the same lines to a different person. It's different every time. Always exciting. Right. Moving on swiftly. We're having quite a change of pace. We're going from the Henrys into Two Gentlemen of Verona, another play that a lot of people don't really know, which is why it's always a fun one to do. So this isn't the other scenes we're doing today are ones that are new to us. This one's one kind of an old friend, but it never stops being good to do. So why not bring it out again? So Two Gentlemen of Verona. Okay, so the two gentlemen in question are Proteus and Valentine. At the start of the play, Valentine, who's been teasing Proteus mercilessly about the fact that Proteus is hopelessly in love with a girl called Julia. Valentine is sent away by his father to the court of the Duke of Milan. And they are sorry, they part very sadly. And then Proteus gets straight in and tries to court Julia. He wins her heart. And the very day that she says, yes, she's in love with him, he gets sent to the Duke of Milan's court by his father, which is great, but really bad timing for him. So, and in the meantime, at the court in Milan, Valentine has also done a bit of falling in love. And it's with the daughter of the Duke of Milan, the Lady Sylvia. Now, there are endless complications within these plots. I'm trying to keep it simple, believe me. But Sylvia's father intends her to marry a very rich courtier and friend of his called Thurio. So he is not inclined to favor young Valentine, even though he likes him very well. He doesn't want him as a son-in-law. So into this whole new kind of slightly messed up love story of Valentine and Sylvia and Thurio and the Duke and what everybody wants for Sylvia. Into that comes Proteus, who has just got himself engaged to Julia and then had to leave. So everybody's feelings are very, very high. Let's see what happens. So we're going to join this this scene between these new friends. We're joining it partway through. So Proteus and Valentine and Sylvia have been having a lovely chat, and there's been a little teasing game going back and forth because Valentine's been saying he's Sylvia's servant, and then when Proteus comes, it's like, oh, well, you have to be a servant as well, and he's like, yeah, that's great, I'll be a servant. So there's a lot of teasing and joking going back and forth, and everyone's having a lovely time until let's see how the scene begins. Actually, you're all on. So is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
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 Okay.
All good.
Wonderful. Right. I will take myself away. I leave you to have some slightly evil fun games in Milan. Enjoy, guys.
Madam, my lord, your father, would speak with you.
I wait upon his pleasure. Oh. Come, Cytherea, go with me once more. Our servant, new servant, welcome. I'll leave you to confer of home affairs. When you have done, we look to hear from you.
We'll both attend upon your ladyship.
Now tell me, how do all from whence you came?
Your friends are well, and have them much commended.
And how do yours?
I left them all in health.
How does your lady, and how thrives your love?
My tales of love are wont to weary you. I know you joy not in a lover's discourse.
Ay, Proteus, but that life is altered now. I have done penance for condemning love. O gentle Proteus, love's a mighty lord, and hath so humbled me, as I confess there is no woe to his correction, nor to his service no such joy on earth. Now, no discourse, except it be of love. Now can I break my fast, dine, sup, and sleep upon the very naked name of love.
I read your fortune in your eye. Was this the idol that you worship so?
She, and is she not a heavenly saint?
No, but she is an earthly paragon.
I'll call her divine.
I will not flatter her.
Oh, flatter me, for love delights in praises.
When I was sick, you gave me bitter pills, and I must minister the like to you.
Then speak the truth by her. If not divine, yet let her be a principality sovereign to all the creatures on the earth.
Except my mistress.
Sweet, accept not any, except thou will accept against my love.
Have I not reason to prepare mine own? Why, Valentine, what braggatism is this?
Pardon me, Proteus. All I can is nothing to her whose worth make other worthies nothing. She is alone.
Then let her alone.
Not for this world. Why, man, she is mine own. And I is rich in having such a jewel as 20 seas, if all their sands were pearl, the water nectar, and the rocks pure gold. Forgive me that I do not dream on thee, because thou seest me dote upon my love. My foolish rival that her father likes, only for his possessions are so huge, is gone with her along, and I must after, for love, thou knowst, is full of jealousies.
But she loves you.
Aye, and we are betrothed, nay more, our marriage hour, with all the cunning manner of our flight, determined of. How I must climb her window, the ladder made of cords, and all the means plotted and agreed on for my happiness. Good Proteus, go with me to my chamber, in these affairs to aid me with thy counsel.
Go on before. I shall inquire you forth. I must into the road to disembark some necessaries that I need must use, and then I'll presently attend you.
Will you make haste?
I will. Even as one heat, another heat expels, or as one nail by strength drives out another, so the remembrance of my former love is by a newer object quite forgotten. It is mine, or Valentine's praise, her true perfection, or my false transgression, that makes me reasonless to reason thus. She is fair. And so is Julia that I love. That I did love, for now my love is thawed, which, like a waxen image against a fire, bears no impression to the thing it was. 'Tis but her picture I've yet beheld, and that hath dazzled my reason's light. But when I look on her perfections, there is no reason. But I shall be blind. If I can check my erring love, I will. If not, to compass her, I'll use my skill.
Boo! Yes, bad guy, Proteus. No, he's not. No, he's not. People can't help who they fall in love with or when they do it. And it is frequently inconvenient, as most of us probably know. But well done, guys. Always an enjoyable scene. And again, if you're not familiar with Two Gentlemen of Verona, if you dig all the way back in our gallery, you'll find a multicast version that we did. It was one of, I think it was the second full play that we did last year, 2020. And we split some of the larger roles so that we could involve all the company who wanted to take part. So it's quite an undertaking, but it's a fascinating play. It's very controversial in so many ways, because the things that the two gentlemen get up to, especially if you go to the end of the play, they basically do a deal with each other over the two women in the play. And what was really funny, and I kind of wish that everybody could have seen, is we sort of finished the play, we went offline, and the whole cast suddenly went, "What just happened? What did they just agree to?" Because the girls didn't get any lines. They didn't know what the two gentlemen were going to sort of arrange between them for sort of organize their lives. And it was absolutely fascinating. There's ridiculous things that happen when we do these, but that was a lot of fun. So we've rocked and rolled through these very quickly and efficiently today. We have one more for you this afternoon, and we're going back to Much Ado About Nothing. And so where are we now in the story of Much Ado? Well, if you were with us at 3 o'clock, you'll have seen the scene where both Benedict and Beatrice were tricked by their friends and family into believing that the other was in love with them, if you see what I mean. So Beatrice believes that Benedict's in love with her. Benedict believes that Beatrice is in love with her. All of this is going on. And there is another play, another story within this play, rather, which we have seen plotted against now. The first scene, we saw Don John Baraccio and Conrad cooking up, or the possibility of creating mischief around the marriage of Hero, daughter of Leonato, and Claudio, one of the officers in Don Pedro's army. We're actually going to go into the room where the bride, Hero, is preparing for this wedding day. And I always think this is a fascinating little scene, because it's one of the few in the play which involves all female characters, which for this occasion is going to be played by those who all identify as male, which is going to be interesting. So, but why not? Because anybody can play anything, and that's the joy of doing this. So we are going to be seeing Hero, the bride, nervously preparing herself for her wedding day, and we'll see what goes down amongst the girls in this house that is full of plots and plans and pranks. What's going to happen next? So Hero, Margaret, and Ursula, are you ready to go on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. And Beatrice, just listen for your cue and come in when required. So as ever, I will be removing myself. Once I'm gone, the stage is yours. Enjoy.
But Ursula, wake my cousin Beatrice and desire her to rise,
I will, lady.
and bid her come hither.
Well,
Troth, I think your other Rabata were better.
No, pray thee, good Mag, I'll wear this.
By my troth, not so good, and I warrant your cousin will say so.
Oh, my cousin's a fool, and thou art another. I'll wear none but this.
I like the new tire within excellently. If the hair were a thought browner, and your gown a most rare fashion, in faith. I saw the Duchess of Milanese groan, that they praise so.
Oh, that exceeds, they say.
By my troth, but a nightgown in respect of yours, cloth of gold and cuts and laced with silver, set with pearls, down sleeves, side sleeves, and skirts round underborne with a bluish tinnel. But for a fine, quite graceful, and excellent fashion, yours is worth 10 on't.
God give me joy to wear it, for my heart is exceeding heavy.
'Twill be heavier soon by the weight of a man.
Oh, fie upon thee, art thou not ashamed?
Of what, lady? Of speaking honourably? Is not marriage honourable in a beggar? Is not your lord honourable without marriage? I think you would have me say, saving your reverence, a husband, and a bad thinking do not rest true speaking. I'll offend nobody. Is there any harm in the heavier for a husband? None, I think. And it be the right husband and the right wife, otherwise 'tis light and not heavy. Ask my lady Beatrice else. Here she comes.
Good morrow, coz.
Good morrow, sweet hero.
Why, hi now. Do you speak in the sick tune?
I'm all out of other tune, methinks.
Clap into light, love, that goes without a burden. Do you sing it, and I'll dance it.
You light a love with your heels, then if your husband have stables enough, you'll look he shall lack no bards.
Oh, illegitimate construction. I scorn that with my heels.
'Tis almost 5 o'clock, cousin. 'Tis time you were ready. By my troth, I am exceedingly ill. Hey ho!
For a hawk, a horse, or a husband?
For the latter, that begins them all. H.
Well, and you be not turned Turk, and there's no more sailing by the star.
What means the full trow?
Nothing I, but God send everyone their heart's desire.
These gloves the Count sent me, oh, they are an excellent perfume.
I'm stuck, cousin. I cannot smell.
Maiden stuff. There's goodly catching of cold.
God help me, God help me. How long have you professed apprehension?
Ever since you left it, doth not my wit become me rarely?
It is not seen enough. You should wear it in your cap. By my troth, I am sick.
Get you some of this distilled Cardius Benedictus, and lay it to your heart. It is the only thing for a qualm.
Oh, there thou prick'st her with a thistle.
Benedictus?
Oh.
Why, Benedictus? You shall have some moral in this Benedictus.
Moral? No, by my troth, I have no moral meaning. I mean plainly holy thistle. You may think, perchance, that I think you are in love. Nay, parade lady, I am not such a fool to think what I list, nor I list not to think what I can, nor indeed I cannot think. If I would think my heart out of thinking that you are in love, or that you will be in love, or that you can be in love, yet Benedict was such another. And now is he become a man? He swore he would never marry, and yet now, in despite of his heart, he eats his meat without grudging, and how you may be converted I know not, but methinks you look with your eyes as other women do.
What pace is this that thy tongue keeps?
Not a false gallop.
Madam, withdraw. The prince, the count, Signor Benedict, Don John, and all the gallants of the town are come to fetch you to church.
Oh, help me to dress me, good coz, good Meg, good Ursula.
And off they go, ready for the wedding. Thank you for giving us such a rousing ending to our afternoon, guys. Right, that's the end of our scenes for today. Can I have my actors please back onto the stage? You only get applauded by me, but I'm sure everybody else is clapping too. Thank you very, very much. That was so much fun. Again, pure joy getting to cast people. To type is fun, and against type is even more fun. And I thank you all very much. So honestly, in this industry today, who needs typecasting? Yeah, does it even exist anymore? Write an essay on that and let us know. All right, so to all of you guys on screen, I say thank you very much. Fergus, Dewi, Thom, and Iain. I will see all of those four again in 2 weeks' time, because they're part of the company for Henry VI Part 3, which is coming to us, coming to you through us on Sunday, the 26th of September at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So please join us then as we conclude the Henry VI's with getting stuck into the Wars of the Roses. Everybody's trying to work out if they're red or white or who's choosing sides. It's all very confusing and good fun. Thank you very much today. Thank you for watching. We will be back. So to everybody on screen and everybody out there, please continue to look after yourselves and each other. Have a lovely, successful and healthy time until we all meet again. See you all very soon. Thank you very much. Valentina, take us off the air. We're done again for another day. Farewell to all.